Liner, because I'm a heavy hand.
But you still want a soft lead.
Soft lead.
Especially, yeah, because especially on tracing paper, if you have a hard lead, it'll tear your paper. And you want to, you gotta
Well,
make
I don't
these.
want it hard, I just want it thinner.
Oh, then then just either a sharpened pencil or a mechanical pencil with a soft lead works well too, so
Okay.
it's up to you.
So next batch I'll.
But these are good, these are also good for shading though, so when you do, we do,
Oh,
if,
okay.
I don't know if we're gonna do any shading studies in
So
here.
if we want, we can just use for regular drawing, we can just use a mechanical pencil.
Sure,
Oh, okay.
with the soft lead.
Which is what? Is that a?
HB
eight-
.7.
A .7?
.78, and it's HB, I think is
Okay, because I
the
think I
lead
got plenty
software.
of .7s lying around.
Yeah, it's working pretty good.
Okay.
Okay. Move it, all right, so just sticking with the same croquis, just go ahead and move your tracing paper over and get ready to do the second drawing. This one also will have a pencil skirt and another bow. Are you ready for another bow? Oh my God, we're gonna do another bow.
Oh, no. Let's go ahead and mess with it first.
Okay, looks like if I move this over a little bit, then I think we can get the other drawing in there. Oops. I forgot about this. I'll have to cut this off otherwise. What did I do? I thought I brought scissors in here, maybe. Did I not bring scissors in here? Darn it.
Oh. She got no hands quick, that's not too bad. That bow actually turned out better than I thought. That's exciting. Making me feel like an artist.
Yay. Okay. Placement's good. Yes.
We're doing another pencil skirt?
We're gonna do the other pencil skirt. I'm looking for the drawing right now. Here it is. With the bow blouse. Okay, so now you have a reference of this bow blouse in that color Xerox I gave you. So we'll be able to use that when we do our shading. All right, does everything look okay up there? You can see, all right, perfect. And then you have your little reference of this drawing next to you also. And you can see, all right, so you got the idea of the bow blouse. Now this one is just a little bit more complicated, a little bit more challenging because it's got a little bit more drape in the actual longer part of the bow. All right, but we're gonna do this. Okay, so go ahead and put in your chin. You can just kind of indicate her hair, just so you can kind of see where you're at. Okay, go ahead and put in, you can see I changed her head a little bit when I did this. Go ahead, put in the neck, and here we go. All right, now we're gonna come, okay, so in fact, you can kind of plot a little bit above the pit of the neck is where that knot's gonna be. Let's go ahead and just basically draw a square there. That's gonna be the knot of the bow. So now that gives us a place to angle to. So just at the pit of the neck, draw a square, just lightly. Okay, now we're gonna come up on the neck, or up a little bit higher than the shoulder, and see how, so what we've been doing, we've been extending that line and coming around the neck. We can literally loop around that neck like that. See what I just did? So let's do that on this other side. So you can just kind of loop around the neck and pull the line to the top of that square you just made for the bow.
You said top.
So round the neck and to the top of the square. All right, now, let's do this. So bring a line out above the line that you just made, and that's going to be the collar. So you can see I didn't make it smooth. I made it kind of bumpy because you can see the collar is sort of gathered there. All right, bring the line above, out, and down to the shoulder. That's going to be our collar. So we curve the line around here to the top of the square, curve the line around here to the top of the square, come out from behind the neck, just above that line, and then it's just kind of a wiggly line down to the shoulder. Bring the line out and down to the shoulder. Now let's go ahead and do the bow, because you can see this collar is just sort of disappearing behind the bow anyways. All right, let's start with the center of the bow. So we've made this square. From the center of the bow, just draw a loose line on each side, just kind of angling out like this. So just a nice loose line. Okay, on the left side, second line angles down. On the right side, another line angles down. What those are called columns of fullness. We'll be doing those in skirts. We'll be doing those a lot of places. And that's going to give us the bottom of the bow. Okay, now this is kind of fun. Okay, now I can tell that it's kind of hard for you to see. All right, so just look up for 1 sec. So what I've got the outside line, and then I've got a column of fullness and a column of fullness. My column of fullness is following that torso angle, so it's hard for you to see it. So that's why I was pointing it out. So there it is. Okay, now what I'm going to do, this is basically the way you make a cascade. If you had a skirt with a handkerchief hemline, this would be the way you'd make a handkerchief hemline too. Curves up and around. So there's around, and it's sort of an S shape, and then comes down to the center. This one comes out from the outside line to that inside column of fullness, make an F, S, and come back to the center. So I'll do it again. So you can see I curved this kind of up and around, made a backwards S, and came down to the middle of the bow. This side, S, and down to the middle of the bow. So now what you've got is your columns of fullness. This is the fabric. Okay, now look at this. If this angled back up to the bow, see how the fabric is folding back on itself? And same thing over here. So once again, if the fabric was if the folding is back on itself, then you come up to this sort of anchor point, and there's a line there that shows this drape of the fabric. How are we doing? Okay, yeah, we're getting it? Yay! Okay, now we get to do the rest of the bow. And you can see it's not very different from what we just did on the other one. Okay. Good. Yay! Okay, so now this time we're going to look at the top of that square we made, and at a slight downward angle, we're going to make basically like a teardrop shape. So there's that teardrop shape. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. See that angle? And you're making a teardrop shape. Ready for the next step? Okay, so you can see here, we're just going to make a curve. We're just going to kind of curve this line in, and then a line comes out behind it. So here and then here. Last thing, of course, is what? The gather. Just a little gather right there. Bam, that's a bow. Okay, other side. You can see, you can relax the line on this one too if you want, and just have it come out, or you can just draw a curved line, go back, add your gather, and there's your bow. So curve the line, bring the other line out, and you can see how it's hiding behind the tie. This is your keyhole. Bring the line down, the line hides behind the tie. Add your gather, and you've got a bow. Now we can see that the collar it's just going to kind of disappear behind the bow. So just go ahead and put the curved line. This is like we did our necklines. And then you can go ahead and add a little gather there at the side of the collar. So a little gather here, a little gather here, and that curved line. All right, now we get to the even more fun part, bishop sleeves. These are pretty cool.
It's like 80s.
Or now.
Or no.
They're on trend now too, so yeah.
They came back.
Yeah, actually, that polka dotted blouse in that is where, is the blouse we're drawing in the color reference that you've got.
I love them.
Okay, I'm gonna move this over just slightly because of the tracing paper overlapping, so I have plenty of room for my bishop sleeve. All right, once again, I'm going to, okay, let's go ahead, bring the shoulder out. Bring the shoulder, just trace the top.